Pittsburgh, home to the Pirates, the Penguins and the Steelers, and also AvatarMeet for a few days, along with a certain Cirque du Soleil show. AvatarMeet was originally going to be in Raleigh in North Carolina. However, due to the passing of discrimination legislation in the state, Cirque du Soleil cancelled their show and headed north to Pittsburgh, and AvatarMeet duly followed. The first evening was spent in a hotel, allowing people to chill out and catch up. Amber bought the meetup scrapbook for people to look through. It's getting quite thick now. The hotel provided a screen and projector for the annual group showing of Avatar, just to get us in the mood. And we know how that goes. Thursday morning, and Karyu was sharing some early Avatar goodness with some of the residents of the hotel.
Can you shake his hand? Say nice to meet you.
It's very nice to meet you too.
Thank you. Ah, perfect. Thank you.
Meanwhile, Karyu Pawl was preparing for his Navi lesson. Marky also set up his laptop to enable a live WebEx broadcast of the lesson.
Good.
We had some additional attendees to Paul's Navi lesson, and they were none other than the performers from the Cirque du Soleil show.
Hey, pleasure to meet you.
My name is Michael. I'm actually the acrobatic coach. I'm the head coach.
Fantastic.
And we have a few more just around getting coffee and just in the bathroom. And we'll
Wow.
Yeah.
Gee. This is quite an
We have
honor.
a little group coming in.
Will be okay if I introduce you guys and ask you to introduce yourselves a little bit? And, just your name and what you do, what character. Is that okay?
Yeah, it's fine, no problem.
Hi there.
Hello,
Paul.
Victor. Nice to meet you.
Victor?
Yeah.
A pleasure. Germany, you're playing Raul, right?
Oh,
Raul, fantastic.
Matsuya, Manzu.
Yeah. Ah, you're the answer. Yeah. Fantastic. Wow, this is just amazing. So, what I was planning to do is simply go through the dialogue. I just want to help people hear it and kind of understand it, so that they'll be somewhat familiar with it when they hear it actually during the show. And we'll do a little bit of grammatical stuff. And so I'll kind of go over them, how everything's put together. Obviously, you can't teach a language in an hour. But I think there'll be enough there so that people who want to go on will have sort of a foundation.
Okay.
And we talked for about an hour and a half, and I guess it went okay because at the end he shook my hand and said, "Welcome aboard." So that was 2005. So talking about 11 years ago. Yeah, just life sort of gives you something and say, "Thank you," whatever it is. So it really has been incredible. And maybe the most incredible thing for me is that after the movie, the language has sort of taken off. And there are people who are actually here, who are actually using it for communication. And, I get emails to me written in Navi all the time, and it's really pretty well done. I think especially when the sequels are coming out. Everybody knows there are 4 sequels there.
Oh, there were 3.
4. There are now 4. It's been announced.
Yeah, it was.
And so once we begin working on those, I think we'll have even more interest.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very,
That's great.
very loud. It's a
So
very extensive party, but you see, this is a major handout.
It was a privilege sharing some quality time with such talented people. And before long, after introductions, it was down to some Navi. Afraid no Navi lesson video this time. I mean, we don't want to spoil the show. Afterwards, there was more meet and mingle time. We were also joined by the cosplayers, who had transformed themselves into full Navi.
Give something a name which will feel like unknown.
Would it be useful for me to repeat something slowly twice and then fast flight, whatever you will be the most.
This is my first
Your mouth has to begin making sounds that you're not used to making, and the intonation has to be different, and so it's just your best. But there's some amazing people. I'd like to tell you that I'm the most fluent speaker. There are I can handful of people who are much better than I am. And the reason is that they use it. Practice it a few times.
Time was pressing and the Cirque du Soleil performers had to depart to get ready for their next show. This enabled AvatarMeet to go and paint the town blue and headed out into Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Everybody comes out one by one.
I nearly lost
Awesome. Thank you.
Down in the marketplace there was no shortage of people wanting to have their photos taken with the Na'vi. There's nothing like spreading a bit of Avatar goodness and seeing people's faces light up. They all still remember the film. A great many were also aware of the Cirque du Soleil show in town.
That's huge. Come on.
I'll give you a hug, not a kiss. I don't kiss on camera.
2, 3, cheese.
From the marketplace we headed over 4th Avenue to a fancy fountain, which is actually called the Mass Mutual Pittsburgh Ice Rink at PBG Place. I think it sounds better just calling it a fancy fountain. Plenty of kids were chilling out, and so we chilled out with them, although trying not to get too wet. More photos ensued before we carried on to Fort Duquesne in Point State Park.
I watched Avatar maybe 30 times.
Two furries came running up to Karyu to have some photos taken. It was going to be the Mass Furry Convention the following week.
Thanks, guys.
Eventually we made it to Point State Park Fountain, and there was no shortage of people who wanted to have their photos taken with the Na'vi.
Yeah, that's cool. Is that the
Even the local patrol officer took an interest.
It's video, so wave or something. Yay!
You're welcome.
Then came the biggest ah moment of the whole meetup. I think this made Frederick's day. Job done, we headed back to the hotel, catching a ride in the free shuttle bus, which wasn't without its entertaining moments.
Age before beauty. No. I almost agree with you. Oh, you're so bad. I almost agree. You are so bad. She's saying that. Oh, you are rotten to the ground. Skinny ones. Biggest one right here.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Count there, everyone. Get it.
The clan meal was an enjoyable pizza affair, and we finished just at the same time the audience was turning out of the stadium, having seen Toruk the first flight. And you can imagine it was the slowest walk back to the hotel ever. Before long it was our turn, and so we headed as a complete clan down to the stadium, which was literally a 2-minute walk from the hotel. Once inside, there were a few more photo calls, but that didn't stop us raiding the Toruk store.
No, he is.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Okay. Oh my goodness. That was awesome. Sorry, there we
We gradually made our way towards where we were going to be seated, and as we entered the stadium, we entered the world of Pandora. Special Irayo Nitan must go to Lightstorm, who enabled our attendance at the show. Some of the clan played around with the Toruk app, which enabled you to interact with the show, helping create some of the stunning lighting effects. A number of people engaged with the cosplayers to find out more about their costumes and the Avatar fandom. Eventually it was time for the show and the lights dimmed.
Take a picture? Picture of a picture?
A picture of a picture.
Well, that was something else. An amazing light show and performance that brought Pandora to life. And for us, there was more to come. But not before a few more photo sessions, of course. As the crowds began to clear, we headed backstage for a tour behind the scenes of Toruk, the first flight. And for that, you'll have to watch part 2.
I know that your costumes are all actually bodysuits. I mean, are those difficult to get in and out of? Because they're pretty tight.
You develop techniques.